What about unconditional love? Does that exist?
No. It does for women, it doesn't exist for men. Women can be unconditionally loved by society as a whole. A woman could go and kill 10 people, but if she was smoking hot and her mugshot came up, it would be all over Twitter. Kill me anytime, babe.
And the replies.
They'd love her anyway. She's hot. Men are only loved for how useful we are. So when nobody looks at you and goes, this man has a utility, this man is good for X, this man can solve this problem. The second you become a useless man, you'll see how cold and heartless this world is, because nobody gives a solitary fuck about men who can't fix problems.
It's true.
That's why we exist. So unconditional love does not exist for men.
What about...
The problem with this age is that all we know how to do is have transactional relationships. If you give me this, I'll give you that. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. And as long as you have transactional relationships, those aren't real relationships. You don't do nothing for me, I don't do nothing for you. If you help me, I'll help you. If you give me this, I'll give you that. But every now and then, you got to test the love to see if it's just transactional. Do you love me as long as I put you in the house? Do you love me as long as I let you drive the car? If I take the car, will I lose you? Because transactional relationships do not last. See, in a transactional relationship, you have to always earn everything. But in a real relationship, I don't love you because you do this. I just love you because I love you. I did to love you if you don't do it. I love you if you can't do it. The blessing comes when you bless somebody who has nothing to give you back.
Well, my friends, I wish that existed, quite frankly, but I'm not convinced it does. Welcome to the Sheep Shear podcast, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the show. We got a good one for you today. This is going to be one that not everybody's going to agree with me on. I'll put that as a disclaimer right out the gate. A lot of you are going to disagree with me, and I welcome the disagreement. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't expect you to. But what I will say is this, you're going to have to provide proof to the contrary, because at the end of the day, this is pretty obvious to anybody who wants to put their feelings aside for 2 seconds and they realize what I'm saying is true. Now, going back to what Andrew Tate said, shout out to him, he made an interesting point in the first video we listened to about how a woman can do X, Y, or Z and still be loved by society. Men, we are only loved by what we can provide to society. Now, there was a saying, I haven't heard anybody actually say this, but it's a saying I came up with a while ago that says, women are born with value, men must build their value. And I think that's driven home every single day. If you look at, if you're a man and you look at your life, if you're an older guy, you know what it's like. You've been through it, where you didn't have a whole lot. You have basically had nothing when you were younger, in your teens, early 20s, maybe even your mid to late 20s, you didn't have a whole lot. But as you got older in age, your income also started to go up. A lot more doors open for you. All of a sudden, the girls who weren't giving you the time of day, all of a sudden, they sending you the "Hey stranger" text out of nowhere. People are giving you respect. Dudes want to be a part of your Dudes want to be seen with you. Girls want to be with you. You know, that kind of mentality. My friends, love is a transaction. Now, I'm not saying that to demonize love. I'm saying it as just a matter of reality. I mean, let's look at it for a second. Let's say you're married, all right? Let's say you, listener of the Sheep Get Cheered podcast, let's say you're married, right? If going back to the clip that African American gentleman showed, he talked about unconditional love. Now, I'm not a believer in that. I think it can exist in certain relationships to an extent. I don't think it exists exactly how we understand it. I think it exists more as in there's just a higher tolerance for your bullcrap. I don't think it actually exists as in you can do anything and everything and I'm still going to love you and I'm still going to care about you. I think it's just a higher tolerance for your bullcrap. People are willing to put up with more because they don't want to lose you. I think it was Chris Rock who said that the only people in life that get unconditional love are women, dogs, and children. I think, was that his joke? It was something like that. If I got it wrong, let me know in the comments. I believe that was something like that. My friends, I don't say this to go against your relationship or to demonize your relationship or have you look at your spouse or your girlfriend or whoever differently. I'm telling you, it is just a factor of reality. If you stop paying for your water bill, you stop paying your electric bill, you stop paying for her food, you cut her off, do you think she's going to stick around? I don't think so. If you suddenly stop giving everything that kind of comes along with your love, get back to me on whether your spouse is still going to be there. I hate the word partner, by the way. I hate it. It implies that everything is being given equally, which it is not. Because men give everything and women give what they feel like. Which, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm holding back no punches today. I'm not in the mood to hold back punches. I'm not gonna do it today. My friends, can you imagine that you have to get lucky in your marriage? You have to get lucky in your relationship when you're paying the bill, most likely. You're paying the bill for everything. You're paying for dates. You're paying for food. You're paying for the cable bill, Netflix, everything. And yet, she could still just not really give you anything in return, and that's considered okay? Like, I'm not saying you're owed anything. What I'm saying is, what kind of... Men are waking up to this idea of love being a transaction and having to put up with BS to get what they want out of a relationship, which is just punani. They want to get the V-sleeve. They want to get the vagina, basically. That's what they want. And if they're not getting that, they're willing to put up and jump through hoops and do all these monkey dances to get... They try to be a dancing monkey to get it. That's what women really have to offer. There was a clip I played, I think it was in yesterday's show, where I talked about... this woman was talking about how the men owe her stuff and this and she deserves this and men exist to please her, the classic feminist bullcrap. But at the very end, he was like, what do you bring to the table? And she was like, me. And it was at the very end, she said what we all already knew, which was, I provide sex, basically is what she said. Which is true. That's really what women provide in a relationship. Now, there are a lot of intangibles that they also bring to the relationship, but here's my point, ladies and gentlemen, that you get your podcast. Love is transactional. You will be loved if you pay the bills. You will be loved if you take out the trash. You will be loved if you do this, and you do that, and you do something else. But the minute you stop doing that, all of a sudden, love is a little more, it's not so much there for you anymore. Now, I'm not calling you a bad person if you do that. I'm saying that that's just the way humans are. That's just the way humans operate. Love is often opportunistic. There's a notion that I grew up with talking about how love is patient, love is kind, it's not self-seeking, it doesn't seek its own fulfillment, stuff like that. I don't think that love really exists. I think it should. That'd be lovely if it existed, but my friends, I don't see it in a romantic setting. I don't see it in relationships today. It's all about what you can give me and what I can get from you. Now, obviously, people don't say that right out the gate because then it would seem like a bad person. But under the surface, it's always there. Under the surface, that stuff is there. And it's always... It's modern warfare. Diplomacy is modern warfare. Arguments and whatnot. We all know that. Anybody who knows anything knows... Everybody who's paying attention knows this. Love is war, and all warfare is based on deception. You should know this. If you're paying attention, you should know this. If you're not paying attention, well, catch up, because you're behind. And if all warfare is based on deception, you're being deceived. Well, where's the deception? The deception is you not believing that love is a transaction. The man is paying for everything. Paying top dollar, especially if you're married or in a serious relationship, you're paying top dollar. And you might not even be getting what you want. No guarantees. Now, what you do is your business. But I'll tell you this. If you're married, if you're in a serious relationship, you're paying way more than you should be. Because at the end of the day, what is it that you really gain from your relationship? I think I asked this question yesterday. What is it that you gain from your relationship that you really care about? Is it the companionship? Is it the quote love? What is it? What is it that you really care about? What is worth that transaction you're making? If you look at the history, actually, dating, how we understand it today, actually stems from sex work. It stems from a time when escorting was a lot more popular in back alleyways in Britain and France and whatnot. And the lords would go down and schnupp the escorts and whatnot. They'd say they're going on a date when they were just going to pay for play. But because they used to court back in the day, they didn't used to date as much. But dating was basically just code for paying for sex. Which, I mean, nothing's really changed in that regard. I mean, people are still paying. You make no mistake about it. If you think you're not paying, you're a fool. You are an absolute joke and a fool. Of course you're paying. You're paying with your energy, your time, your attention, your finances. You're paying for it. You're paying for it, dude. And if you think you're not, oh, I don't know what to tell you. You're just clueless. And you need to get a grip because you're getting fleeced. Now, if you choose to make that transaction, that's your business. But just know what you're signing up for. Don't be gulled into thinking that, oh, she loves me for me and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, bro. She might think you're a nice person. You might think you're handsome, whatever. But they're there. Women have this inherent, every human has the inherent need to survive, right? But women especially, they're very good at surviving. And so they'll stick with the man who gives them the best chance of survival. That's just basic human evolution. So my friends, I don't say this to demonize women at all. I just want you to know what's actually going on out here in these streets. Because if you don't know these things, you're going to get played. I don't hate anybody in this on either side of the transaction. I just want you to know the transaction's happening because so many people are fooled into thinking it's not happening at all. When if you really take a step back and you look at your relationship, you'll realize that your relationship, you're paying. You're paying in one regard. You might not be handing someone $20 bills, but you're still paying. Your time is your most valuable asset. You can't get more time. You can use your time to get more money, but you can't use your money to get more time. Your time is your most valuable asset, and yeah, I guarantee you spend a lot of time with your girlfriend, a lot of time with your wife, and blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you do. That's a form of payment. I guarantee you spend a lot of time and energy making sure that she's happy, cared for, and whatnot. That's paying. I guarantee you pay for dates, you pay for entertainment, you pay for all the entire lifestyle. That's paying. Again, if what you think you're getting is worth what you're paying, that's entirely your right to do that. But if you want to take a step back and realize all the things you're paying and ask what you're getting in return and you're not satisfied with it, well, then that's a problem. Because then you're not living the life you want to be living and you feel held back. I want you to really ask yourself, what is it your partner, what is it your significant other gives you, whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, whoever it is, your friends with benefits, your concubine, whatever. Whoever it is in your life, I want you to really ask, what is it they bring to your relationship that's worth what you're paying? Whether you're a woman, man, doesn't matter to me. Ask what the other person is bringing to the table that makes your transaction worth it. If it does at all. Because if it doesn't, well, then you got to reevaluate what you're doing. Because obviously you're doing something wrong that's not in your best interest. And if you're not going to look out for your own best interest, who else is going to do it? It doesn't always have to be at the expense of other people, but you at least have to know about it. Because if you don't know what's in your own best interest, you're in trouble. Because I guarantee you no one else is looking out for it more than you. And if you're not doing it, you're in trouble. My friends, I want to bring this information to you so that you know what's going on in the world around you and what's going on in your own life. Because a lot of things will start to make sense when you start putting the pieces together. And when you put the pieces together, you'll start to really feel like you have control over your life again. And that's the whole point of this show, is I don't want you... Most people are sheep. And I don't want you to be sheared. I don't want you to be gulled. I don't want you to be deceived. That's the whole point of this show. That's why I titled it the way I titled it, because a lot of people are being deceived, lied to, played, manipulated, and I'm tired of it. I don't want you to be manipulated, played, and deceived. I have been for most of my life, if not my entire life, and I still am to this day. But you got to be able to spot it. so you're not deceived and gulled and played for a fool. You need to be aware, knowledgeable, because then that application of knowledge turns into wisdom. My friends, if you dispute anything that I've said today, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Feel free to let me know on Twitter at SheepGetSheared. I'll put up the question, do you think love is a transaction? And if you want to respond to it, feel free to do so. My friends, in the meantime, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. We're out of here. Enjoy your evening. Peace.